Hi guys, Evans here and welcome back to this video. So in this video guys, I'll continue to look at the IGCSE ICT February-March 2023 paper 2-1. In the last video we looked at the document production section, and in this video we start to look at databases. So without wasting much of our time, let's scroll down and get to the database section. So task 3 database. Students at Tawara High School are placed in one of 4 groups which are called houses. These houses are Jupiter, Mars, Neptune, and Saturn. You are now going to prepare some reports based on school tests. Step 18, using database software, import the file m23test.csv, and we are told to not import the English field. Okay, so for all the fields that will be found in this CSV file, we should not import the English field. Okay, and then use these fields, field names and data types. So these are the field names, and then these are the data types, and then these are this is the metadata. Now remember something about metadata. It's extra data about data. So for example, this is the data registration code. The information that we have about this is that it's text. But if you still look at this one, mathematics or maths, information is that it's a number, but then we have extra information about this number that it is 0 decimal places. So this is called metadata. It's extra data about data, or data about data. Yeah, so it sounds a little bit confusing, but actually it should not be confusing. It's just extra information about data. For example, we could have said that registration code is primary key. If we say that it is primary key, then this extra information that we've added about this field name is called metadata. Okay, so these are the field names that we are going to work on, these ones here, and after we've imported this, we're going to set the table registration code, which is the first field name. We're going to set it as the primary key and save our data. So we'll come back and do this step later on, but then let's go ahead and just try to import this this file here. So I'm going to open up a database package. So just open up Access, and then we are going to create a blank database. So I'm going to call this one as February underscore March 2023, and then just say create. And then this is the blank table. I'll just close this. I don't need this. And I'm going to go to external data and just import the CSV file that we have been given. So just browse to the location where your files are saved, and then mine is saved here. Confirm the actual name of the file that you are going to import. It's a test.csv. So just come here and get this test.csv and go to next or OK. And then after you go to OK, you can go to advanced, and then here you can select which fields to import. Okay, but I like first of all to set the column names here and stuff like that. So I'll say column names, first row contains field names, and then go to advanced, and then we can skip which fields we don't need here, so that we have the actual field names here, and then we can indicate which fields we don't need to import from here. So we are told not to import. Let's just confirm one more time. English field, don't import it. So English is here, and I'm going to skip this field, this one here, and just say okay. So you can confirm here that you don't have the English field. We do have the English field, but in the actual table, when it gets to the database here, English field is going to be skipped. Okay, so just go to next, and then go to next. Here you can set the data types if you want. I like to set them on this window, because then I can see all of them as they are and compare them with what I have here. So all of them are numbers from mathematics, and all of them are text from registration to house code. So just confirm from registration to house code is text, and then from math to the very end, it's actually long integer. It doesn't matter whether it's short integer or long integer at this stage. Okay, So I'm just going to go next and then next, and then we're told to set the primary key to registration code. So choose my own primary key and set it to registration code and go to next and then finish. Now you just have to confirm that the English field was not imported. So if you go back to your table, just double click there and go double click here as well. Notice that you have math, computer science, design, technology, and science, and English has actually been skipped, which is what we want. Okay, so I'll close this table, save it as it is, and then I'll go back to the question. And then the question says that save the data, then place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the field names, data types, and primary keys that are used in your table. So if you come back to your table here, just right click and take it to design view, and you need to show this window. We haven't yet set the properties for these numbers. Okay, maybe we can set them to format, just set them to fixed, and then set the decimal places to 0. And then you can set the same thing for this one, format, just set it to fixed, and then set this one to 0, and then set this one also to fixed. You could also set it to general, which is a general number, but even fixed is fine. And then set it to 0 decimal places, and then finally the science, set the format to fixed, and then the decimal places set it to 0. So we have set that. Now we just need to show a screenshot of this one. So I'm gonna go to my snipping tool and get a new snip, and then let's just pick up this one. In the previous video, I set the snipping tool to take the screenshot after 5 seconds. So I'm just gonna disable that feature so that it doesn't set the timer to 5 seconds. So no delay, and then we can just get a screenshot. So I'm gonna get the screenshot and paste it under evidence 5, and then just minimize it like this. That should be fine. And then we have evidence of the primary key, evidence of the data type, and the field names as required by the question. So go back to I'll go back to the question paper, and I'll go to step 19. Import the file m23houses.csv as a new table into your database. Set the house code as a field, okay, the house code field as the primary key. Okay, so before we do that, the next step, let's just go ahead and do this above step. So go back to this. We are picking up now the houses table, so I'm going to close this and save it, and then go to external data and pick up the house, the houses field, which is this one, file rather, and get it and go to OK. And then we're told to set so first row contains field names, and then we're going to set the house code as a primary key. All these are supposed to be text, and then choose my own primary key, and it's going to be house code, and say OK and finish. So next, just say OK. Next, we need to set, just go to the question paper. We need to place in the evidence document a screenshot, rather this one. Examine the file m23staff.csv to identify the most appropriate field to use as primary key. So import this file as a table in your database using this field as primary key. Now, when they say examine this file, first of all, to identify which column is going to be appropriate for primary key, the best thing that you can do is to open the same file in, like open it in a, you can open it in a spreadsheet, that's fine, but you can also open it in a database file. So if you come here and just go to new data source, text file, and then pick it up from here, just say okay, it's gonna be staff. So I'm gonna get staff, and then go to OK, and you have the data here. So you can tell the class code is the first one, so 5C, 5W, 5D, 6B, 6L, and so on and so forth. And then I have the teacher name. Definitely teacher name cannot be primary key because two teachers can have the same name, and the subject cannot be primary key because two subjects can, not two subjects, but we could have in the same column two students taking the same subject. And then the row as well cannot be the same because we could have multiple tutors, multiple assistant teachers, and so on. So the most probable or the most a suitable field to be primary key is actually the class code. So I'm going to go to next, and then first row contains field names, and then the class code is going to be the primary key. So I'll just go here. This is text, and then go here and set class code as primary key, and go to next, and then finish. So now I have all the three tables imported into my database, and now I need to go back to the question paper. I've been asked to place evidence document, or in the evidence document, screenshot evidence to show that the field names, data types, and primary keys for each of the two tables that we have imported in step 19. So you go back here, and I'll start with the staff table, take it to design view. There's nothing that we're changing from here. I'm just gonna get a snipping tool and go to Windows Snip and get this one and paste it in the next step 19. So just come here and put it in step 19 evidence, and just resize it a little bit, and then I'm gonna pick up the other one as well. So just close this and then pick up the houses. Basically you just need to pick up the this one, and then I'm gonna use the snipping tool and just grab this part here as evidence, okay, and just paste this in your evidence document. Just push it this side, and well, even like that is fine. Yeah, so I have these two, and edit the following record in the test table. Registration code is supposed to be 2016 underscore 09, and change, when you find this record, change the class code from 6B to 6T. So basically this is if this is the primary key, then we can search for this record using its primary key, and the value for this one is 2016 underscore 029. So we're just going to come here and close this one, and then we're going to go to I think it's the this one, which has the registration code, and I'm gonna hit Control F on my keyboard to bring up the find and search feature. If you don't know how to get this, you can also just click here and find, and then it will open up the same window. So I want to find the record 2016-029, and then I just want to see where I can find it. So I found it, it's here. And then if I found it, I'm changing the column class code. I'm changing from this record, I'm changing from 6B actually to 6T. So change from 6B to 6T. Okay, like that, and that should be it. Save this file, and then go back to the thing, check your data for entry errors, and save the data. So we've done that. Let's go now to create the relationship between the tables. Create one-to-many relationship between, first of all, the primary key field of the staff table and the class code of the test table. So it's gonna be primary key field of the staff table and the class code of the test table. Okay, so let's go to bring up the fields, close this, database tools, and then let's go to relationships and pick up all these tables here. So I'm just gonna select all the tables and add them, and then we're going to so we have the staff table and the test table. Okay, so the staff table and the test table. The primary key field in the staff table is this one, and the code, the class code here is this one. So just drag and drop it there and enforce referential integrity and say create. And then also we go to the next one, which is the primary key field of the house table and the house code in the test table. So we're going to get the house table is this one, the primary key field is this one, and we're going to drag and drop it onto the house code inside here and enforce referential integrity and say okay. And so we have now this kind of relationship, and this one is acting like an intermediate table for this database. Okay, so we'll come back here now. Place in your evidence document, okay, screenshot showing the one-to-one relationship between the two tables. Now guys, you can get a screenshot of this window, you know, just where you just get just come here, get a snipping tool, and just get this one. This is screenshot enough to show that you have created the relationship. Okay, but if you're a perfectionist like myself, you would want to be to show the relationship between each table like this, so that you have this window which is showing you that you have actually created a one-to-many relationship. But you see, in databases, we do know that when it's one to infinite symbol here, this means one to many. Any person who understands databases will see that you have actually created a one-to-many relationship. If it was a one-to-one, you would see a one here and a one there. But a one to infinite symbol means that it's a one to many. So you don't need actually to show this other window, this window to show that you have actually created a one to many relationship between the houses table and the house code primary key in this table, and in the test here just a foreign key. Okay. So I'm gonna just use the screenshot that I have already and just paste it there. That should be fine. It's showing me that I've created my relationship between all my tables. Okay. So next, we're done with this one. Now we go to step number 22. So step 22 basically is where we're going to create a report. Now, guys, I have over the last a couple of years, maybe almost 10 years, could be 8-9 years or so. Now, I have been giving you a strategy on how you can answer questions like step number 22 and gain full marks on this question. You can imagine this question carries about 9 marks, and if you do it right, you can bag these 9 marks, from this exam, and come up with this exam, smiling and almost shaking my hand, almost shaking my hand, just that you're very far away from you. But I do receive, tens and tens of emails, from different people, about how this strategy of solving questions on reports, kind of just, help them in the exam. So a report basically, guys, is divided into 2 parts. Okay. Now, in a report, for example, when you have a database, a report is supposed to be some piece of information that you extract from your database so that you give out some summarized information or report about your database. Now, this information that you are getting from your database meets a certain criteria. Now, when you design your report, there are 2 steps that you should think about. First of all, you should think about how to extract data from your database that meets a criteria. Okay, so the next thing that you do is, now that you've gotten the data that meets your criteria, you need to think about how to present this data now that meets the criteria, so that it can be in a meaningful presentation or meaningful detail, so that people can make sense. It could be in a graph, could be in a report like a table, could be in a form, in terms of a form. It could be anything. Okay, so these are the things that you need to do. So this step number 22 should be broken down into 2 parts. The first part, you should utilize extract the information that you need so that you can present it properly to the people. So this is where now you're going to design a query. So to extract the information, you're going to create a query. A query is basically a statement or a logical statement that is used to extract information from your database. Okay. I cannot go into detail talking about the different types of queries, but if you do get my workbook, IGCSE workbook for Cambridge, you will notice, I explain very well the concept that you're supposed to follow in terms of working through this. But I will demonstrate this anyway, so that you guys can make sense out of this. So your steps, this one should be divided into 2 parts. The first part is, it should be the part to do with extracting the data that meets a criteria. So usually the first part up to here has to do with that. So how do you know? The one for selecting the field names, the one for selecting the criteria, this is used for extracting. And then the rest of it is basically for manipulating the extracted information. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is just basically, I'm just gonna extract now this information. So I usually like to start with this bullet point, which shows which fields you're going to need. So shows only the fields, family name, gender, teacher name, science, math, computer science, design technology, house name, and class code in this order. And when they say in this order, guys, when they say in this order, then they mean that you shouldn't switch the order of processing this, or rather sorting this or arranging these field names. Okay, So what I'm gonna do is just pull up my database package here and close the relationship and save it. And then I can probably minimize this one. Let me just try to do that. I'll minimize this one and then get this one this side as well, minimize it a little bit. And I'll reduce the size of this. I'm sorry guys if it's too small. I'm just trying to maximize the screen size so that I don't have to be switching in between one screen and the other. So I'll just get like this and then we can see what we can do. So I'm just gonna drag this this side a little bit. Okay, so now guys, I'm gonna create here, just so create, and then I'm gonna go to query wizard. So query wizard, a simple query wizard, and then just come here, and then I'm gonna pick up now this field name from different tables. Now here you have got the queries and the tables. So I have the tables here, and I'm gonna be switching from one table to the other to pick up the actual field that I want. So I'll start with the actual table that I have here. So I need first of all the family name and I need the gender. So family name followed by gender, and then teacher name, and then teacher name is going to come from the staff table, and then just like that. And then I need science, so I need now to go into this into the test table and pick up now science, and then I need to pick up math, and then I need to pick up computer science, and then I should pick up design and technology, and then I should go to the house table and pick up something as well. So I'll go to the house table and then pick up the house name and the class code. So the house name is here, and the class code, I'm going to pick it up from the staff table. I think there was class code there. I can pick it up from here. You can also pick up the class code from the test table. I think there was class code as well. So it doesn't matter. You can pick it up from here or from the other one, as long as it meets the criteria that you have specified. I'll pick up this one just for the sake of peace. Okay. All right. So go here. Next. I think this is the order. Just verify that the order is intact. Name, gender, teacher name, science, math, computer science, design, technology, and house name and the house code. And go to next, and then go to next, and then here I'm gonna go save this as step 22 query. Step 22. I'm just gonna save it as a query. So step 22 query, and I'm gonna use this to create my report. So just modify the design and just say finish. And now I have this already, so I'm maximize this so that I can now see my query. Now just minimize this and minimize this. Now I have my query, guys, and I need now to pick up the criteria for this table. Okay, so I'll sort this like this so that it looks much neater. So I'll come back here, and then now we can pick up the criteria. The gender is F, and science is 80 or more, and the class code contains 6. So come back here. The gender is female, so I'll go to gender, and under criteria I'll put F, and then I'll go to the science result is supposed to be greater or equal to 80, and then the other one was supposed to be the class code contains 6. Now class code contains 6. Now guys, you should know about wildcards at this stage. The symbol for contain is like this, then 6, and then star like that. So it means that you don't care what comes up before the 6, and you don't care what comes after the 6. As long as there is a 6, that should be fine. Okay, so you can run this query and just see if you're going to get the information. So class code contains 6, so you have 60, 6A or 6B, and so on. And then the gender is F, and then the other one is that the science marks is supposed to be greater or equal to 80. Okay, so this is done, guys. Now we have done the extraction of the information. Right now you can see that we have the detail, the report. And it's not the report yet, but it's the extracted information on which we can now create a report to present this information in a meaningful way. We give it header, or rather heading, if there's any calculation that has to be made, summary, data, and stuff like that. Now we can manipulate the data. We have extracted this information, and now what needs to be done is to manipulate this data, present it in a meaningful way so that recipients can make sense out of it. So let's go to here, and So I'm gonna go now to the report to start building the report. And to start building the report is very easy. I'm just gonna close this and save it, and then go to create and then report wizard. I'm gonna create my report based on step 22 query, which contains the structured information that I just created. And I'll go next, and then I'll go next, and then next, and then the other one, all these other information, I don't need to change anything here, guys. Just follow the screen. I'll tell you, this is a window now where you need to change some information. So if you come back to the question, you've been told that sort the data in ascending order. This one, hold on to it, wait for it. Don't just sort the data yet, wait for this one, we'll come back to it. Calculates the number, we'll come back to this one. And then has the label, this one, we'll come back to this one as well. Has a page orientation of landscape, so this one we can do it on this window, and then fits, so this landscape, so let's change this to landscape. So orientation landscape, and then if you come back here, it says fits on a single page wide. So if you come back here, this one is adjust width so that all fields fits on a single page. So this is the fits on a single page wide. And we were told that we are creating a tabular report, so which means we leave it at tabular. You can see in the question paper that we're told to create a tabular report, so which means leave it at tabular. If you're told to create a columnar, then you need to use columnar here. Okay. So now that we have this information, we can go to next now. Next, and then if you want, you can set the title for your report here, or you can set the title in the report itself. Okay. So right now, this is the preview of the report. We'll take it to layout view, and then we can modify some stuff in layout view. So here I'm going just to type the title for the report, and it's supposed to be a title. It's supposed to be STEM Science class for 2024. So we'll just say did STEM, was it STEM is all caps. Okay, STEM, and then science and class, they have capital first letter. So STEM science, and then class for 2024. Okay, so this is done, and then next you're going to go to so this the title is done, and then we're told that it should be in a larger font, which it should be fully visible and should be at the top of the report. So in a larger font, this is large, it's not bad, it's large, but we can make it a little bit larger. So just go to home, and then make sure you select all these thin, and just increase maybe to 28 or something like that. That should be fine. Okay, so let's go now to our thin. What else have we not done? Okay, so now guys, the rest of it now is to manipulate the data. First of all, let's do the sorting of this data. But before we do that, let's make sure that all the fields are fully visible. So come here. Right now you can see that science, math, and these other fields are not fully visible. We are in the layout view, so just select this and then resize this like that. I'm just using holding shift and pressing my left arrow key, and then this one I'm just holding pressing the left arrow key on its own, and then hold shift and then press the left arrow key again to resize it. So shifting and when you hold shift, then you are resizing. When you don't hold shift, then you're just moving the values. So in this case we have science, and then I'll drag it this side, and then I'll hold shift and right arrow to resize it so it's a little bit large. And then mathematics and the values, I'll push them to the left, and then I'll hold shift key and push to the right. And then science, this should be computer science, and I'll shift it to the left. And as usual, I'll hold my shift and right key, and I'll enlarge it like that. And then design and technology, again I'll push it to the left, and I'll hold shift and push it to the right, and design and technology is fully visible. The rest of the fields are fully visible, and I don't need to change anything about them. That should be perfectly fine. Just counter check that all the fields are fully visible and nothing has been cut. Okay, so this step has been done. The next thing that we need to do is to sort these fields in a particular order. So now I did want you to sort from the wizard that we had earlier on, because you can sort these from here, and this is much better sorting from here than sorting it from the other one. So add a sort, and then we are sorting by what? So we need to find out which fields we are sorting by. So first of all, we'll sort in ascending order of teacher name, and then descending order of science. So let's go and sort that. So ascending order of teacher name and descending order of science. So the first field is supposed to be teacher name, and we'll sort it with A on top, and then the next one, add a sort, and we're going to sort by science, and this time we are sorting from largest to smallest. So now we have the teacher name at there, and you can see the hierarchy here. The level is teacher name at the top, followed by thing. And if you are told to add a sort again, you can do that. Or if you're told to add a group, then you can do that. Okay. So this one is done. The next one is calculate the number of students and places this at the end of the report. Okay. So the number of students. Now, there are multiple ways, guys, that you can calculate how many students are in this thing. But first of all, we're going to take this thing into design view so that we can access the report footer where we're going to put the calculated field. So I'm going to drag this and just put it here for calculating the calculated field. Let's pick up this one, and I'm going to just put here now. Now, there are multiple ways, guys, that you can count how many fields are on the report, or how many column records rather are on the report. So you just first of all equal to count, and then count is a function. Now you can count counts the number of rows in a database. So here I want to count how many rows actually exist in each column or in a column. Okay, so there are two ways that you can do it. You can count with just like that, count star, and this means that you're just counting all the fields that are inside your table. The other way that you can do this is just count the records that are involved in each column. So just pick up a particular column, for example, family name. Okay, count family name, and this is going to again count just that column and gives you the number of records that exist in that column. So let's try to run this in layout view report in layout view and see how many records we're able to count. So as expected, we got 27, which is absolutely fine. And now we can add the title here. Text 21 doesn't look professional, so we can add the title. So calculate the number this places at the end of the report. This is done, and now let's add the title. The title is supposed to be new science group size. New science group size. So come here, and instead of saying text 21, we'll say new science science group size. Okay, and now we can adjust this and just push it a little bit and resize this so that it looks a little bit professional. I'm gonna align this to the left, so I'll go to properties for this one, and then I'm gonna align it to the left. So just pick up which one. So text align, I'll make this align to the left. And the reason I want to make it align to the left is because I want it to look a little bit close to this one. And I don't like the table or the text box with the square boundaries here, the borders. So I'm just going to select this and remove the border style from solid. I'll make it transparent. And then I now have this information like that. Okay. So now if I come back to the question paper, now I need to display the name, center number, and candidate number in the footer so that it appears on the same position on every page. Make sure that there is no other data displayed in the footer. So again, I'm just going to go to design view, and then I'm going to go to the page footer, delete this information that is there, and then I'm going to put I'm going to set so if I go to my report design, come here, pick up this label, and then I'm going to put maybe on the right hand side here, I'm just going to put Chikasa Evans, and then I'm going to put AE361, and then I'll put 0001. Okay. All right. So perfect. Now I can go ahead and preview this in a print preview. So just say print preview, and then you can see that the report looks somewhat professional. and at the bottom, although the print preview doesn't show you the summarized details, so yeah, just give you the layout view, and then you can see at the bottom here you have got new science group size 27, and then Evans Chikasa, and your kind of details are displayed this side. The other thing, guys, that you might if you are very if you pay attention to detail like me, you might be interested maybe in saying, but why do I have the white and black or gray lines here, background lines? In the exam, you will not lose marks if you printed your report like that. You will not lose marks. It just makes it easy for people to read that information. But in case you are wondering how to remove that, I think you can go to design view and then select the detail section here, and then go to alternative color, this one, I think, and say no color. And now if you go back to the layout view, you shouldn't see any color for this one. But guys, these are non-trivial things, and this shouldn't make you lose marks in the exam, unless they told you in the exam that like in the A-level exam IT, they usually tell you that they don't need this one to have maybe the alternating background color. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so this is the section on database. So we are done with this part. Okay, and the next one, guys, we're supposed to place in our evidence document a screenshot, okay, showing the database formula that we used to calculate the number of students, and then save and print the report. So we go here and pick up the screenshot. So just come here, take this into design view, and then just enlarge this part for the sake of the formula. Okay, and take your snipping tool and just pick up this formula. So I'll just pick up this formula here, and that's fine, and just copy it, and I'll paste it in my next step 22 evidence, and I'll put it just like that and push this one down. Okay, so that is done, guys. The next step that we're supposed to do is step number 23. I don't know how many minutes I've used for this video. Let me just try to see how much time I've used. It's just about 36 minutes. It's fine, maybe. Or I should okay, let me see the other video, or the other question that is remaining there. Okay, so this is about 12 marks. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna do the next part in the next video, so that each video is not so long. So I'm gonna do the next part in the next video shortly.